Hello everyone. In this video, let's learn about chemical reactions and equations, which is your first chapter of the book, science book. So, what is chemical reaction? We have to know what is chemical reaction. Whenever a chemical change occurs, we can say that a chemical reaction has taken place. For example, iron gets rusted, no? Rusting of iron is a chemical reaction. Then food gets digested in our body. This is a chemical reaction. So whenever a chemical change, not a physical change, whenever a chemical change occurs, we can say that a chemical reaction has taken place. Then chemical equation is a chemical reaction. When we can say chemical equation as when we express the chemical reaction symbolically, this becomes chemical equation. I will repeat again. Whenever a chemical change occurs, chemical reaction happens, then when we express that chemical reaction, chemical change symbolically, that becomes a chemical equation. For example, when hydrogen and oxygen mixes, it becomes water. That is a chemical reaction. But when we write it symbolically, it becomes a chemical equation. And whenever we write a chemical equation, we have to balance it. Now, how we will balance it? Like this. Okay. Then let's learn about different type of chemical reactions. The first type is combination reaction. Now combination reaction is the reaction in which two or more substances combine to form a new single substance. The reaction in which two or more substances combine to form a new single substance. For example, CaO, which is calcium oxide, when it combines with water H2O, it becomes calcium hydroxide. This is a combination reaction because এই দুইটা মিলি these two combining together makes calcium hydroxide. So this is a combination reaction. Similarly, this one is also a combination reaction because hydrogen and water combining together makes hydrogen and oxygen combining together makes water. So this is also a combination reaction. The next reaction is exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction. Now this reaction is in which heat is released along with the formation of products. Mane in this reaction heat is released. In reaction to hole heat release hoy. We will give one example. CH4 plus O2 twice O2 becomes CO2 plus twice H2O. So in this reaction heat is released along with the products. Respiration is also exothermic reaction. Then decomposition of vegetable matter into compost is also exothermic reaction. মানে হিট যদি রিলিজ হয় প্রোডাক্ট কেটার লগত then this is a exothermic reaction. The next one is decomposition reaction. Decomposition reaction. Now the reaction in which a single substance decomposes to give two or more substances. Decomposition reaction is in which a single substance decomposes to give two or more substances. Eta substance bhangir pina dhoriloa tarpora duta tinta beleg beleg product ami pau. Hetu hoise decomposition, mane bostutu decompose hoy. Now decomposition reaction can be categorized into three types: thermal decomposition, electrolytic decomposition, and photolytic decomposition. The first one is thermal, mane yar logot heat involved hoy ase. So when a decomposition reaction is carried out by heating, this is thermal. When a decomposition reaction is carried out by electric current, it is electrolytic decomposition. Then when the decomposition reaction is carried out by light, then it is photolytic decomposition. So, we will give example of the first one, thermal decomposition. For example, CaCO3, if we give heat, it decays into CaO plus CO2. This is thermal decomposition. Yet so this compound splits into two different compounds. Mane yar decomposition hoise, ei bostu to decompose hoise. And since we provide heat for the decompose, so it is thermal decomposition. Then next one is, second one is electrolytic decomposition, when we provide electric current to complete the decomposition. So H2O, which is water, if we provide current, electric current, then it becomes H2 plus O2. H2 plus O2. আমি এখিনি ব্যালেন্স কৰা নাই, ব্যালেন্স কৰিব লাগিব আৰু just for understanding আমি এখিনি example দিছো. Then photolytic, when decomposition reaction is carried out by light. The example hobo tumar AgCl, sunlight, then Ag plus Cl. Etu hoise mane a compound to this compound splits into two different compounds because we provide sunlight. Okay, so these are the three types of decomposition reaction. The next type is endothermic reaction. Etu tumar this is not this decomposition reaction, this is a different reaction. Endothermic reaction. Now this reaction is the reaction which require energy in the form of heat, light, or electricity are called endothermic reaction. The reaction that requires heat, light, or electricity are called endothermic reaction. Now don't be confused endothermic reaction with thermal decomposition, electrolytic decomposition, photolytic decomposition, because in decomposition reaction the single compound have to decompose, but in endothermic reaction even though we need heat, light, or electricity, the compound that do not decompose, and that is why it is a different type of reaction. Compound to decompose no hoy, and because of that it is a different type of reaction. So this is the example. Here we need heat, light, or electricity as the energy to complete the reaction, and this is why it is a endothermic reaction. Then another type of reaction is displacement reaction. Displacement reaction, you can guess it from the name that displacement of atoms or elements must happen because the name is displacement reaction. Now displacement reaction is the chemical reaction in which an element displaces another element from its solution. The chemical reaction in which an element displaces another element from its solution. If I give the example, you will understand it more clearly. Example is Fe plus CuSO4. Now see, this is a compound, this is a compound. Now displacement of elements will happen. So FeSO4 plus Cu. From this compound, SO4 got displaced and joined with Fe. So this is a displacement reaction. Another example of displacement reaction is Zn plus CuSO4, then Zn, this SO4 will join with Zn, SO4 plus Cu. Then this is displacement reaction. Then another type is double displacement. Here in this reaction only one element was displaced, but in double displacement reaction, the reaction in which two different atoms or group of atoms are naturally exchanged, ইয়াত মানে double displacement হয়, দুটা বস্তু displacement হ'ব. So example is Na2SO4 plus BaCl2. Now see, BaCl2 Na2SO4, the double displacement happens like this. Ba, from here SO4 will join with BaSO4 plus NaCl. The reaction is like this, double displacement, কাৰণ ইয়াৰ পৰাও displacement হৈছে, ইয়াৰ পৰাও displacement হৈছে. But in here this is also called single displacement, double displacement. এটা single displacement হৈছিলে, ইয়াত double displacement. So these are the type of reactions. Then another type is precipitation reaction. We don't need it very much. Precipitation reaction. Precipitation reaction. When in any reaction that produces a precipitate is called a precipitation reaction. Any reaction that produces a precipitate is called a precipitation reaction. Now precipitate is after forming a solution, if something insoluble is gathered at the bottom of the container, then it is called precipitation. Then let's see oxidation reduction reaction. Reduction or redox. Now oxidation is the gain of oxygen in a reaction. Oxidation is the gain of oxygen in a reaction. Then reduction is the loss of oxygen. Reduction is the loss of oxygen in a reaction. Now if these two type of reactions happen in a single reaction, যদি এই দুটা কথা, এই দুটা বস্তু এটা single reaction হয়, then we will call it as oxidation reduction reaction. Oxidation reduction reaction or simply redox reaction. For example, twice Cu plus O2. Here when we provide oxygen with copper, it becomes copper oxide. Here in this reaction, oxygen gas, oxygen is added in the product. So this is a oxidation reaction. This is a oxidation reaction karon yet oxygen to add hoise hol oxygen oxide hoise sorry copper oxide hoise. Then see this example, CuO plus H2 Cu plus H2O. Now see here, oxidation is the gain of oxygen. When in a reaction gain of oxygen happens, we call it oxidation reaction. Etu hol. Then when in a reaction loss of oxygen happens, oxygen loss hoy, or I will write it gain of oxygen or loss of hydrogen. This is oxidation. Okay. Then reduction is loss of oxygen or gain of hydrogen. This is reduction. Okay. So see in this example, in this reaction, hydrogen is added with this, no? Hydrogen here logot add ho gise. So we can say this is a reduction reaction. Now see, we will write the reaction again. CuO plus H2 heat Cu plus H2O. Now see here, oxygen was there, copper oxide, which becomes copper. Mane ki hol? From here oxygen is lost. Karon yato copper he thakil ge okol. Copper oxide isile copper thakil ge okol. So oxygen is lost. Mane ki hol eto? This is reduction. Eto eta reduction hol, oxygen or reduction hol. Now here there is only H2 asile yat, but in product ki hol ge oxygen to log ho gol, oxygen add hol, mane ki hol? This compound gained oxygen. Mane this is oxidation in a single reaction. At a single reaction ote ki hol tumar? First this element, this compound first lost oxygen, so we will call it reduction. Then this compound gained oxygen, so this is oxidation. Now since the oxidation and reduction is happening in the same chemical reaction, we will call it as oxidation reduction reaction, or simply redox reaction. Now other examples are ZnO plus C becomes Zn plus CO. This is also a redox reaction, because from here ZnO was there, then it becomes Zn. Mane ki holo? Oxygen to loss hole. So this is reduction. This is reduction. Then there was only C, then it becomes CO. This means this is oxidation. Karon C logot O2 plus hoise, add hoise. So this is also a redox reaction. Then lastly we have corrosion and rancidity. This is the reaction that you see in your daily life when a metal is attacked by substances around it, such as moisture. When a metal is attacked by substances around it, such as moisture, acids, etc. Then rancidity is when fats and oils are oxidized, they become rancid and their smell and taste changed. So মানে কি হয় ফুড বিলাকৰ তোমাৰ টেষ্টটো চেঞ্জ হৈ যায় যেতিয়া সিহঁতি অক্সিডাইজ হয় মানে সিহঁতি যেতিয়া কি হয় মুকলিত থৈ দিয়া যায় when you keep a food in open their taste change and sometimes their color also change. So antioxidants are added to food containing fats and oil. So this is the first chapter. I hope you understand. If you have any confusion, you can ask me on WhatsApp. I will provide you the notes on the school website. Then see you until the next video.